Hello everyone, this is the voice of Raphael, the writer, director, and co-creator of the Edeneth Chronicle. I just wanted to let you guys know that just last week we released the teaser trailer for the series. And if you haven't already seen it, then I recommend clicking the card appearing in the upper right corner of your screen at this moment and checking it out, because we reveal a whole lot of new footage there, and it's big and it's cinematic. So if you're interested at all in the Edeneth Chronicle, then you're definitely not going to want to miss this. So without further ado, let's get into this next production diary. This one is focusing on the subject of building and costuming and other things that go on in art department.
There's two kinds of builds. There's just like building builds, which is just buildings, and then you just look on Google or Minecraft.net or Reddit. It's like buildings. That looks cool. I'm gonna build something kind of like that, and then go on the world and build it. But then there's the Redstone build, and that's pretty much where, like, that's all me, because the building builds everybody gets on and does the buildings. But
You got a full build team.
we have a full build team. Yeah, at this point, most of the buildings are finished and all the cities are done. So we're pretty much only doing like effects and stuff, and that's just cramming my brain to figure out what I can do to make certain like shots look best. It's really tough because I have to learn an entire coding language to do some of these shots.
Yeah, because in addition to doing all of being the art director, you know, you're also essentially our like machinimating technician, right?
Essentially, yeah.
In fact, I'm thinking of like, I'm thinking you could almost practically be counted as special effects coordinator.
Basically, yeah. Well, something that we've actually got, something that we've actually done on that's just completely come around organically on set is we have these little effect hubs, like little control rooms where I'll set up all the command blocks and I'll have them all lined up and I'll label them, and it's like, all right, this does summoning stuff, this does explosions, this does particle effects, that does some other crap, and I'll get on, and sometimes, or at least originally, I was the one going in there, pressing all the buttons, and then getting back into the scene because I was also acting. But then now that we've gotten more people, it's gotten to the point where I can get a couple of people and just like sit them inside of the booth and say, these do this, trigger them on the cues, and they operate these little command block bunkers that control all of the effects for the whole show, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it takes a lot of coordination to bring some of these shots
Absolutely.
together. So I just need to press this here button and I'll get rid of the barriers.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so we are currently several months into production, but it is still very exciting to see new volunteers joining the project. I mean, we saw a huge boom in cast and crew back when Lauren took the project to Reddit back in August, but that influx has since died down. But every once in a while, we still see someone joining. We're still spreading the word and putting the open casting call out there on various platforms. And in fact, I just got done with an email exchange with someone looking to do body acting and possibly voice acting, we'll see. But still, it's still very exciting to see people coming in and taking interest in the project, especially since the production has gone on for such a long time, and when you're working with volunteer cast and crews, you know, those numbers become very valuable, and we are extremely grateful to everyone who's, you know, committed their time to this.
Cities took the longest time to build just because that's raw manpower. That's just hours getting into the world and placing blocks. You can't get any faster than probably how we've done it. A lot of it was cheated, using MC Edit to take certain buildings that could be easily replicated and then copying them and then taking them from one city, putting them in another, disguising it up a little bit so they don't look too much the same, or some of them that were intended to be like the same like buildings in several places. Those made it a lot easier because then they filled in a lot of those little empty spaces where we had our big custom buildings that looked amazing, and then we have just like these filler buildings that look just as good, but we didn't have to put as much time into because we only had to build them once, and then we could have them as many times as we wanted. When building Pollux, a technological wonder of the kingdom, I really wanted to get in there and get a lot of like like practical redstone builds in there, a lot of doors, lots of you know, moving parts and things like that. When we first started, I was the only one working on that because I was the only one who like really knew how to make these like big doors and stuff like that. And when more people started coming in, I tried to see like, are you good at redstone? How good is your redstone building? Do you build doors? Do you know your logic gates and stuff like that? It's like how well do you know stuff? And then the biggest question, which I still haven't found anyone who's like at least on my level with, is the command blocks, because I wanted to get a lot of unrealistically complex builds in there, and the only thing that we really able to accomplish was a functioning clock tower. And it was only even semi-functional, but it works a little bit, and that was one of the first big redstone projects that we worked on. And that was pretty much just me and I think one other person who worked on the redstone for that.
Who was that?
That was Rock of the Marin. He built the majority of the structure, and then I helped him fill it in, and then I don't remember who, but someone else helped him fill in the structure as well. Those two started it, and me and Rock finished it, and then me and Rock worked on the redstone. Wow. So Broseph came in later. I think he was part of the third wave of builders we got coming in, and he built these beautiful glass structures throughout, specifically that city. You don't see those structures anywhere else but that city. Those are his babies. These glass structures, they really sell everything about it. It's Pollux in a nutshell.
But as far as the general production goes, things are still going very well. I mean, we've been progressing very consistently thus far. We usually shoot about once a week, and we try to get everyone organized to be able to get together on the same day. But this past weekend, we decided to take a day off to binge Luke Cage, but also partly because everybody's been working so hard and doing such great work, and we've been getting so much done these past few weekends that, you know, I figured people could use a little bit of a break from it. But still, we got lots of progress to make and lots of work to catch up on this upcoming week. So we're looking to make ourselves very busy here and continue doing. There's still some more voiceover that needs to be done and a cubic buttload of filming. But I'm still very excited because hopefully this upcoming week we'll be able to finish all of the principal photography for the first 3 episodes. So that's a very exciting milestone to hit. And of course, there's plenty of work that needs to be done before the episodes can be called completed. But principal photography is a huge part of that, and it's very exciting to see whole episodes getting done in that regard. But still, you know, we have a lot to go. It's going to be a 12-episode series, so there's still a long road ahead of us. But I'm excited, and I'm optimistic, and I'm energized right now. So yeah, as art director, you would say the state of art department is pretty good right now.
Oh yeah, we're arting the heck out of this right now. Yeah, it's just awesome working with talented artists who are working on a project that I thought it was just gonna be me. I thought it was gonna be me, the artist, and then like directing people to do, you know, jobs. It's been more like, hey, you know what we want, and they go and build these awesome stuff, and I say, and like then I'll critique them. It's like, oh, that like this kind of works with the lore, the background. It works with it. This you could go more in this direction, and then they just go and do it, and I don't have to do much directing as much as I'm just sitting there building alongside with all these people. And especially with this, like with the skins like you said, we had a concept art for a skin, and that was awesome. With the first wave of builders, which was just word of mouth builders, where it's like it was like I said, it was like, or like you said, it was us, a couple of our friends, and then they would get their friends, and then they would get their friends, and they would come in, and then we would just build stuff. That was more of what I was thinking the whole project was going to be, of directing, where a lot of the smaller cities got done like that, but then later on it's really expanded, and it's made it work a lot easier.
I think probably one of the MVPs right now of the art department is Everglade.
Absolutely. Well, like Everglade and Hitty came in first. So I think he came in first, and he threw out a couple of skins that were just amazing, and then Everglade came in, and after she took the ball and just ran with it.
Because she pretty much introduced us to the whole concept of modular skins that
yes.
you could change on the fly. Well, I mean, we did that with Scourge first.
Yeah, so I had thought that would have been like a very specific thing with Scourge, but then she took that same idea, and now she made a couple of skins now that are completely modular, that we can use over and over again, and they'll look different every time.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So we've got options,
Yeah.
which help because then you don't have to make 3 skins. You make 1 skin, and then you can modularize it. It's like this one has a sleeve. This one's got the hair. This one's got a shirt.
But yeah, some interesting artistic ways to overcome, not necessarily overcome technical limitations, although that's part of what we're doing here, but in regards to the skins, just like technical innovations, I think.
Innovations. That's absolutely the word for it.
Also, this little guy's sitting here while I work.